Hi, and welcome to Inside Baker. I'm your host for the day, Kristin Babcock. We have a very busy show planned for you, but first we are going to talk to the Reverend Dr. Ira DeSpain, Baker University's campus minister, about Lent and Holy Week. Thanks so much for being here, Ira. Well, we here at KNBU have thought about how we have a short week this week, and the reason is, at least in the planner, it says it's Good Friday. So, we know this is a Holy Week, and just kind of wanted to get some information about what makes this week so holy.
Sure. This week between Palm Sunday and Easter in the Christian tradition is the week that we commemorate the last week of Jesus' life. Friday is Good Friday, signifying the use of that word good, because we look back past Easter to make realizing that the resurrection made the crucifixion of Good Friday good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so this will include Good Friday and then later the Sunday observance of Easter?
That's right.
At least in the Christian tradition?
That's right. It began on Palm Sunday a few days ago as we remembered the triumphant entry into Jerusalem by Jesus. And then each day this week, Christians are called to remember the events of that last week of Jesus' life.
Mm-hmm. And when you say Palm Sunday, what do people experience with that?
When Jesus entered Jerusalem the week before the resurrection, he was part of a parade. The people lined the streets with palm trees, palm leaves, and it was a way to remember the triumphant entry into Jerusalem by Jesus. But for those folks at that time, they thought they were welcoming in a military hero. It's the same sort of parade that was given to a military hero upon a successful completion of a battle.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this something that all Christians experience Holy Week in the same way or celebrate it?
Not exactly. It depends on the religious tradition in which you come from. Mm-hmm. Those who celebrate Holy Week most devoutly, and those who celebrate Lent most devoutly, are the traditions that came from Roman Catholicism, which includes Methodism and Presbyterianism and the Lutheran Church and mainline denominations like that. Also, the Greek Orthodox Church celebrates Holy Week in some real important ways, although for the Greek Orthodox religion, Holy Week and Easter are different from the traditions of the Roman Catholic Church and its descendants.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned Lent a little bit ago. How does Lent play into this?
Lent is the 40 days preceding Easter Sunday, not including Sundays, but the 40 days preceding Easter Sunday that Christians are called to a time of repentance and self-reflection and self-denial, and as self-reflection and getting themselves ready to receive again the gift of the resurrection. Begins on Ash Wednesday. We had an Ash Wednesday service here in Baldwin City at the First United Methodist Church, and Christians are called to that time of preparation. The 40 days is patterned after the 40 days of Jesus' preparation in the wilderness before his public ministry began.
Mm-hmm. When you say a lot of people practice self-denial or self-reflection or repentance, what does that involve for a lot of people?
A lot of people give up something that they normally are attached to during Lent. Sometimes what I've heard this year, some people were giving up chocolate or soft drinks. Talked to one young man who was giving up fast food for Lent as a way of just marking that time and remembering that being a Christian and following Jesus has a lot to do with giving things up.
Mm-hmm. Is there a specific lesson or a specific goal to giving something up for Lent?
Yeah, there is a sort of it's just a pattern of denying yourself, because the life of a follower of Jesus is one who is a life that gives him or herself away to the world for a greater cause.
Mm-hmm. Now, we are observing Good Friday as a university, but this is a Holy Week not just for people of the Christian faith. It also coincides with Passover, correct? Right.
Passover and Easter are always around the same time, mm-hmm. Because Jesus was in fact crucified during the Passover feast, mm-hmm. In Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. So, and for our Jewish brothers and sisters, the Passover marks the night that the angel of death passed over the faithful people prior to Moses leading the Hebrew people from slavery in Egypt to the Promised Land.
Mm-hmm. Are you aware, or are there certain ways that people of the Jewish faith observe this holiday?
Right. There's a big Seder meal. It's a big festival that has to do with a great deal of rituals. And in January, in fact, in interterm, when Tanya Sieber was teaching that you are what you eat interterm, one of the feasts that they had was a Passover feast. It includes a lamb, and includes a boiled egg, and some bitter horseradish, and some matzah crackers, and so forth. It's a very prescribed religious festival and feast.
How similar is this feast, as far as our understanding of what Jesus would have experienced as a Jewish person? How is his observation of Passover similar to how it's observed today?
I think very similar. In fact, there's a great deal of evidence to suggest that when Jesus instituted the Last Supper on what we call Holy Thursday or Maundy Thursday, that it was at the conclusion of what was a Seder meal, a Passover meal, that he was celebrating with his disciples.
Okay. Well, Ira, we have run out of time. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kristin.
Well, right now we will go and talk to Tricia Shelton, who is in the field talking about exactly what we've been talking about.
Religion is a huge part of my life. My number one goal in life is to live every day for God.
In fact, part of the reason she chose to come to Baker is because of the school's United Methodist affiliation. But just how strong is the affiliation? Although there are several religious groups on campus, Sarah Romerein says religion plays hardly any role in her daily life.
Every once in a while I think about the sort of issues that I think come with religion, but it's not really something that I focus on in my daily life.
She says although her roommates are religious, she doesn't feel like religion is being pushed on her at Baker.
There's not really any pressure to be Methodist or any other religion, really. One of my roommates is a Baker ambassador, and she's very religious, and my other roommates are really religious too, but they don't pressure me into it, and I've never felt any sort of obligation to be religious.
Carissa says she works hard not to push her beliefs on others, but is happy to talk to people about God if they ask her.
I'm not one to push anything, but with people who don't agree, sometimes I don't know what to say. It's hard, but like I said, I just try to be the best Christian that I can be.
Religion has been a part of her life ever since she was born.
I'm Christian, first and foremost, and if I would identify with anything, I'm United Methodist. I was baptized on my first birthday in the United Methodist Church, and I've grown up in the First United Methodist Church in Hiawatha my whole life.
However, Sarah says she hasn't been to church for years. Instead, she identifies as an agnostic.
So I went to church when I was a kid, but as I got older, I thought about it more and decided that it wasn't really for me.
There are some benefits for religious students at Baker, though. The school offers church scholarships and several religious groups, like Fellowship of Christian Athletes and the Baker Ambassadors. The university minister also holds a weekly chapel service.
Kind of a place to come that we can pray together and pray for each other or each other's families or friends. And it usually doesn't last over an hour. It doesn't take a huge chunk of your day out. But it's really kind of my way to focus back in for the week.
So, although not all students are United Methodists, Baker provides a community where all students can feel at home.